And we are now live. Welcome, everyone, to My Southern Psychics, live today with Psychic Tessie. How are you this evening?
Great. Fine, thanks. How are you guys?
Cool. I think I'm just going to start off with a pretty easy question to kind of get our feet wet. My question is, does everyone have psychic abilities? Because that's the topic for tonight, is talking about psychic abilities and does everyone have them? How do we enhance them? What can they do if it's too much for them? So let's start off with just, does everyone have them?
Yes. Everyone has psychic abilities. It's a language, and anyone can learn the language. Some people seem to be born with or have an event occur in their life that opens up this world of information flooding in from another source. And oftentimes they go through a crisis of some kind, or they have a spiritual awakening, and it's a sudden event where they can see things and hear things and notice things or perceive things that they couldn't before. But everyone has ability, and anyone and everyone can develop that ability. It's kind of like learning a foreign language. With a lot of gifts, for instance, clairvoyance, clear seeing, you can create a language for yourself with your clairvoyance so you can understand better and better what's coming your way. So everyone has psychic abilities, yes. The second part of that question was, what do we do to enhance them? I think I'll talk about that as we're doing readings, and as we're talking about each individual person and what their ability is. I'll talk a little bit about what they can do to get stronger in those. And what was the third part of that question?
That was it. It was just about tempering it as well, but we can just stop there. One more thing that I wanted to announce to everyone is that we're going to be doing something we're calling a rapid fire, where we're just going to give Psychic Tessie your name, and then she's going to tell you what your psychic gifts are. So I think that's going to be fun. That's something new that we're going to be doing tonight. Sure. The first question we have is actually from Stephanie. Okay. She says that my husband and I have a super solid, amazing relationship, but lately my spidey senses have been tingling, and tingling that there may be something a little off, or is this just fear, or am I getting messages from something deeper that I may not know I have?
Okay. So Stephanie has clairvoyance, which is clear seeing, and that means you can see things in your mind's eye. And she has a very strong intuition. For intuition, let me just show you how it works. If you make a positive statement, my name is Stephanie, I'm in America, and you feel into your body during that time, you either feel a little bit expansive or you don't feel anything at all. Then you make a negative statement in the same tone of voice. I am an orangutan. I am wearing the color yellow. And when those things aren't true, you'll feel a contraction, kind of down your sternum, solar plexus. Some people, it gets stuck in their throat when they try to say it. So it's almost a column that goes down the body to the solar plexus, which is right below the diaphragm in the upper abdomen. You'll feel kind of a clench. So you can test your intuition by making a positive and negative statement. What's cool about that is when somebody's lying to you, you can start feeling that clench, or if it's a bad situation, you can kind of feel that clench, and that's intuition. Then there's so Stephanie is clairvoyant, and that she can see pictures and images, and she has the intuitive sense as well, and she has a little bit of claircognizance. Clair means clear, so clear knowing is claircognizance. I know something's up. I know something's wrong. She is in a very good relationship. The problem is that her husband keeps looking back over his shoulder at somebody from the past. It's not that he wants to go to the person from the past at all. No interest at all in going there. It's that something's familiar. Sometimes when we're in a love relationship and we get to a point in it where previously we had a breakup or previously things went wrong, it can be very common that we're looking back a little bit trying to figure out, is that going to happen this time? Is that where it's headed again? Can I trust this? So I think the only reason why the spidey sense is tingling on that is you're feeling a little bit of distraction from him, that he's almost looking backwards a little bit to try to make sure that this is safe and he can trust it. There's nothing wrong with bringing this up in conversation. It would be a fine conversation. You were going to do it anyway in between 10 and 12 weeks. You were going to talk about it then anyway. You don't have to wait. One great thing about psychic readings is when you know what's coming up, a lot of times you can change things. You can create your path. So in about 10 to 12 weeks from now, you were having an argument, not a bad one, just married couples, we do, having an argument about something. And it was, well, I've been noticing lately, and these little things, you're distracted or you're not paying attention, or when we talk about the future, you're feeling, he's kind of glossing it over or changing the subject. You don't need to do that. You just need to have a conversation saying, do you ever think sometimes about previous relationships and like how that compares to where we are now and what's going on with us? And it'll take care of it. So, yes.
Great. So the next question we have is actually from Nicole, from Australia, actually. So she's asking, what can you tell me about my spiritual abilities?
Well, you have a lot of them, number one. You have 1 to 2 guides who are talking to you and trying to get your attention, and they're using everything to get through to you. You're very gifted. So they're putting images in your head. They're talking to you in your ears. That's clairaudience. They're giving you feelings that feel like they're more in the chest and then they go down into the abdomen. You're empathic, so you can pick up vibes of stuff. You've got it all going on. With the language, when a guide is talking to you, pay attention to the words that are going in your head, because you think you're just talking to yourself, but you're not. You're thinking, you need to slow down, is what you hear in your head. You're hearing, you need to slow down, but you're thinking that you're saying it. No, pay attention to the pronoun. You would be saying, I need to slow down. The guide is talking to you saying, you need to slow down. You're very cool energetically. And it's kind of like on a spiritual development path right now, where more and more really interesting things are flooding in for you to learn about. So you're in this kind of information gathering place to decide what's working for you or not. But you are clearly clairvoyant. You clearly see images. And you're kind of figuring out how to define a few of them. What you need to do also is you need to ground a little bit better, because you get very floaty from this. Remember, when we don't ground, after you do energy work or do a lot of readings, if you don't ground, you usually get really hungry or really tired to try to ground down again. So walk barefoot, stomp your feet on the ground. I have a whole body vibration machine I stand on. That's awesome. Do some exercise, something to kind of ground down after you're doing all that. But you've got it all going on, but it's primarily coming from guides hitting you on all senses. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so the next question I have is from Jennifer. How can I control being empathic? Which is actually a great question, because I have a lot of people coming towards me asking me about how can I control this? It's too overwhelming. I feel too overwhelmed by other people's emotions.
Right, and the problem oftentimes when you're an empath, clair empathy is what it's called, but we call it empath. The problem oftentimes is you feel like it's out of control, right? So somebody who's an empath is taking in information kind of through their solar plexus. And most people we all take in a little bit of information there. If I was hard of hearing in one ear and could hear well in the other, I would lean the ear that I could hear better with into you. Or if I couldn't see well, I would squint and lean forward slightly. But that's what empaths are doing when they're picking up information sometimes. They're leaning their middle in energetically. And our body doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So you need to visualize to clear that, to fix that. It doesn't clear it, you're still going to be an empath. So if you're wide open, like a megaphone, you need to close your eyes and imagine that opening going down to about the size of a drinking straw, nice and small, and leave it like that. Kind of lock it in like that. And then come out of that, ground, and then check it again later. Kind of imagine, what does it look like right now? Did it stay or did it open up again, and kind of bring it back down? And then you won't have as much coming in. When you're taking in so much information energetically from other people, we're all energetic beings, and situations and crowded places and chaotic stuff, your immune system's getting triggered. It doesn't know what's going on. It's foreign stuff that's coming in. So you got to kind of close that down, ground. And then the usual stuff everybody says, drink water, sleep, eat, all of those things are good. But for specific for empaths, picking up information that way, close down the channel, make it smaller.
Okay, cool. I think it's time to do our first rapid fire, or if you're ready for it. So once again, if you guys missed the beginning of our live, a rapid fire is going to be, I'm just going to say names, and Psychic Tessie is just going to tell you what your gifts are. It's going to be really quick, and then we'll go from there. So the first one I have is Taylor.
Taylor?
Tayler.
Yeah, that's right.
Taylor. Yeah.
Tayler. Okay, hold on. Gotcha. Here's music in her head. Clairaudience. Some clairvoyance, extremely kind. A little too wide open in the heart chakra. Close that down just a little bit. Save some for yourself. Very intuitive.
Cool. Extremely. Shelby. So next one is Shelby. Shelby.
Connection to the divine. We have chakras above us. Work on just clearing the chakras and clearing the ones above, because you have divine information flows in and through you. So therefore it comes in as clear cognizance, clear knowing. Third eye is pretty good for seeing. And as it trickles down through the body, sometimes the intuition gets a little bit off in that, because it's kind of like being a channel. Yeah, you're somebody who needs to take care of you a little bit more, especially if you're doing this kind of work. Take care of you. Make sure that you don't get overwhelmed, because you've got a pipeline of information coming through you, so you have to keep yourself at the highest vibration.
Okay. Next, how about Adam?
Well, he's a broadcaster. Whatever, I know that doesn't sound right because we're talking about psychic gifts, but it's a psychic gift. So he's somebody, whatever his energy or mood is and stuff, he broadcasts it out. We all have an aura that's, a foot or two around us. So for him, it's all about keeping himself in a certain state or in a certain mood, because when he goes into someplace, everybody matches his vibration. So he has to keep himself at a high vibration. He's clairvoyant, he's cognizant for sure. He's certainly intuitive. He has one of them, I can't tell if it's taste or smell, a little bit of that from time to time. I think it's smell. And, but he's a broadcaster, meaning he changes and raises the vibration of the things around him. The law of attraction, where they talk about what you focus on gets bigger, right? So Adam is somebody who, if he's focusing on the negative, people are mean, things like that, he's going to get a lot more of it in return than someone else would. And if he's focusing on the positive, it's a lot more of it in return than somebody else does, because he sends it out in a bigger fashion. He's a broadcaster.
That's pretty cool. Never heard of that before. Steven, Steven.
Clairvoyant, can see things. Sometimes the images get muddled. Work on not trying to know what it is. Say in your head, I don't know. I don't know what this is. I don't know. And it'll get more clear. Connection to guides and a deceased loved one that talks to you. So there's a little clairaudience, but it sounds like your voice, but they show images and stuff. A lot of chest stuff with Steven. So there's some intuition up here, and when something's not right, it tightens up a lot up here. So some feelings there that are pretty good. And divine knowledge, some kind of knowledge. So there's some kind of claircognizance coming in with, he'll just get random facts about people and things and stuff like that and just know them. Yeah, details.
Okay, so Zara, Zara.
Do me a favor, say your name again. Just say it, don't spell it.
Zara.
Okay. Well, that's different. Cool. Hold on. Her feet are not on the ground. Usually that means that there's some angelic presence around. There's a little bit of floatiness there, like the feet are off the ground. So there's a spiritual path here that's awful cool for changing the world, helping other people. I actually can't answer on what your gifts are because you keep coming through as an angel or something angelic, which means you've got everything going on and more. Your feet are off the ground. You're really floaty. You've got information all over you. It's almost like you live in a different world and that you see things differently than everybody else. So I can't tell what her gifts are because she's different. She's like an earth angel. Doreen Virtue talked about earth angels. She's like that. Yeah. Really cool.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Let's try Pania, P-A-N-I-A. I might be saying it incorrectly. Pania.
Really strong intuition, a knowingness, like I know it in my bones when things come in. Precognitive. So when you know things, sometimes you know them early. So timing doesn't make a lot of sense to you. And that makes sense to me that it doesn't make sense to you because time doesn't exist in the spiritual plane. So you have to then put it on a calendar that, okay, let's do it this way. Let's say that you see somebody's going to get a proposal, right? So then, but it feels like it's imminent. It's going to happen any second. Tonight, tomorrow night, kind of a thing. Back off that and look differently. Use your clairvoyance and look at a calendar. Don't put numbers on the calendar, but put some events on there. The premiere of Game of Thrones, a birthday of a friend, July 4th, whatever it is. Kind of put them on a calendar and then see where this event lines up with it. Because being precognitive, it feels like it's now, and timing doesn't make a lot of sense when you get these hits and this information, why it hasn't happened yet. So claircognizant, clairvoyant, precognitive, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, how about Sue?
I'm sorry?
Sue.
S-U-E. Yeah. She's on a spiritual path. She's on a spiritual path of self-identity as well. Trying to figure out how she fits into this whole world and the divine and her path and what her gifts are. But she's really skilled in energy work. And I mean, really skilled in energy work. She's got healing hands, Reiki and stuff like that would appeal. She's somebody who almost gets her mojo from helping other people. And she picks up things clairsentient. So it's a physical sense that you get about stuff. So she picks up physical feelings or physical knowingness from putting her hands on someone or through her whole body. She's clairsentient. There's a touch of clairvoyance. There's a little bit of claircognizance. So a little bit of clear seeing, a little bit of clear knowing, but she's clairsentient. She's somebody who really gets it all over. So let's talk about that for a minute. I'm going to go without a question. Have you ever said it feels like a storm is coming, or that doesn't feel good to me if I'm going to an event, or walk in a room and just say, no, I don't think so. And it's a feeling in your body. Everything just contracts. We were talking about intuition earlier. It's like that when you're clairsentient. You can really feel your body open and close up with different stuff. The clairsentient people really have to kind of get quiet sometimes to be able to interpret that information. So sometimes when you walk in a room and something doesn't feel right, you just know, you got to go. A little intuitive, but mostly just a physical feeling. But sometimes you have to get real quiet to interpret it and almost sit with it for a minute, and then it'll come to you. If you think too much, remember when you're doing psychic work, you're thinking, I don't know, the whole entire time. You're not trying to let your ego tell you what it is. So clairsentients need to kind of sit with whatever that feeling is, and it's almost like it'll work its way into and then start processing that you understand it. Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to take a break from the rapid fire. We will be doing it again in this session, so stay tuned because we're writing everyone's names down who are interested in doing that, and we will get to you tonight. Let's mix it up. Let's do some questions. So the next question I have is from Noor, and her name is spelled Noor. She says, I feel like I know what's going to happen next in certain situations in my life. Does that mean I have psychic abilities, or is it just a lucky guess?
No, Nora's psychic ability, she has clear cognizance with clear knowing, and she's intuitive, and she has some clairvoyance. And sometimes we lucky guess those things. If that's a question of ego, that's a question of my thinking. So Nora is somebody who creates her world. She is somebody who, when she focuses on something, it occurs. So a lot of times when she's saying, I think I know what's going to happen next, she's making sure that that happens next by putting her energy or her attention on it. Remember, our body doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So if you are imagining things and keeping it somewhat vague and not exactly how it's going to happen, really that it's going to happen, I'm going to be surprised. I'm going to get surprising and delightful news this week. My career's going great. You know, those kind of things. She's a positive person. And so she kind of broadcasts it in front of her on her path. And then absolutely the things occur. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. The next person is Lisa Marie, and it's spelled differently, so I'll spell it for you. It's Lissa Marie. She says she's clairvoyant and others not overly developed. Can you tell me what they are, and would like can't read this. Would like to
Let me rephrase it back to you and see if this is the question. She was clairvoyant, and she has other things that aren't as developed, but clairvoyant primarily. Yes. Is that right? Okay.
Yep.
Is she asking to develop the clairvoyance?
Well, she's asking what else are they? What other things are there? And she would like to channel one day, is what she says.
Oh, she definitely needs to channel because she's a medium. Okay. We'll get to channeling in a second. Clairvoyance, clear seeing. Remember, clair is the clear. Create a when I talked about creating a language earlier, this is what I was talking about. Okay, Lisa Marie. I want you to imagine a couple that's together that's very, very happy and see what that looks like. Maybe it looks like two people with their arms around each other, but don't make them specific people. Look, get that view. Now I want you to look at another couple that's very, very happy and see what that looks like. It should look very similar. And it could be a rose bush. It could be anything. It could be a tree. Whatever you see is fine. Now look at a couple that you know in real life who is on a really rocky road, that they're having a lot of breakups. It's volatile. It's on again, off again, and get your picture for that. Find another one. Get your picture for that. You're creating a language in a way, right? Now find one that is broken up. See what that looks like. So now when somebody asks you about a couple that you've never heard of, when you get the image, you can kind of get a really quick read on they're together, they're happy, they're on a rocky road, they're broken up, or whatever it is. So that's what I was talking about when I said you can create your language with clairvoyance. You have people waiting to talk to you, deceased people and guides. You have 3 archangels showing up way up there to work with should you choose to. Remember, we have to request things. We have to say, this is what I would like. Would you please do that? Because that's our free will. You have Michael, Raphael, and Gabriel. Now, Gabriel might be a really good bet for you because Gabriel's a communicator, so that might be really fun. As for your other gifts, well, you're very intuitive, you're empathic. I think you're trying to develop your clairaudience a little bit more, and that's fine. But don't dictate how the guides communicate with you, because they think the easiest way that they communicate with you is through claircognizance, through clear knowing and seeing. I think that's the easiest way for you to gather information. And Sanaya Roman has a really good book, Sanaya Roman. I remember loving her books she has books about channeling and stuff like that. You want to look at some of hers. But it's a lot of playing with visual imagery and kind of opening yourself to it. You're ready. You're ready. Yeah, it's really fun. And it doesn't make you crazy. And it's not like the movie Ghost where it takes over your body, or any of those kind of things. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we have I think we should just start doing the rapid fire a little bit because it's backing up. So I just want to keep on eliminating them as they come up, if you don't mind.
Okay.
The next person is Amy.
Clairvoyant, claircognizant. Hey, pay attention to that claircognizance. You keep second guessing yourself. You clearly know something, and then you try to talk yourself out of it. I don't know why. Clairvoyant, claircognizant. Oh, wait, hold on. Something's going on with Amy. I'm sorry, that's not going to be rapid. I'll come back to rapid in a second. Something cool's going on with Amy. Yeah, big spiritual development time, but that's not all. It's kind of like looking at the world in a new way and gathering information and kind of figuring out what works and doesn't work in my life right now. And I'm getting rid of all the things that don't serve me, and I'm going to be who I am. So there, it kind of like stepping into my skin, you know, and my spirit. And there's also something really interesting about kind of, I don't know what this means for you, but about merging my head and my heart and my soul. But there's something going on with this. I'm putting them all together, like I'm aligning everything together. You're on a really cool path right now. Enjoy. Remember, it's fun. It's entertaining and fun and joyous and delightful and surprising. Don't second guess so much. Just have fun with it. Sorry. Okay, I'll go first.
Okay, next person is Lori, Lori.
Lori feels energy. She feels energy all over the place. She's learned how to damp it down a little bit so it doesn't get overwhelming. So she's an empath, and she's an empath. And she's got a little bit of everything, but she's an empath primarily. Yeah.
Tara.
I have 3 Taras. I don't know why. Is somebody else named Tara also written in?
The one that I have is Tara Fox.
Okay. Okay, so Tara is divinely guided and connected to guides. And she's got intuition like crazy. She's got mother's intuition, and she knows about that, but she has it with everything. She is clear knowing and intuition, and she's clairvoyant, and she's got guides who help her and direct her. Yeah.
Okay, next is Diana.
So clairvoyant, holy moly. There's like screens coming up that she has to push them out of the way to get to the next one. So she might get flooded sometimes with clairvoyant stuff. So feeling too, wow. When you feel it, it's really strong for you. So very intuitive, very, very feeling. And it feels kind of empathic and kind of clairsentient all at the same time. Remember, the empathic thing is more emotion and the clairsentient is more physical. So it's kind of both of those going on with the clairvoyance. Yeah, very cool. You need to do a little bit of self-care. Yeah, a little bit of taking care of me. And the more that you, and I'm not talking about, you're not doing anything wrong. It's when you're tired, sleep, you know, if you can, and think happy thoughts and go to the beach or whatever it is. And the more you kind of take care of you a little bit, the more these things get even stronger and more comfortable. Yeah.
Cool. I have A10 next. It's spelled EYTAN.
EYT. Say it, spell it again.
EYTAN. I think it's like supposed to be like Ethan, but it's spelled differently.
2 people giving information at once. Boy, that can get confusing sometimes. So clairaudient a little bit, but it's claircognizant, and it's all here coming in both sides at the same time. That can get a little confusing sometimes when you have, they're not opposed to each other. It's not good or bad. They're both good, but they both have opinions. So I think one might be a deceased loved one. One's definitely a guide. I can't tell if the other one's a guide or a deceased loved one because they're pretty strong. But 2 people giving information at once. And so you're a channel for information. You should do more. You should tap in more to that channeling side. You're a good channel, but clairvoyant, claircognizant, clairaudient, a little bit of clairaudience. So the clairaudience is like you get a tune in your head or a statement in your head or words in your head kind of a thing. That's how the clairaudience works for you. It's not hearing it actually in the room. It's just like a thought in your, like a hearing something in your mind's ear. I don't know how else better to explain that.
Okay, Parnes is next. It's spelled PARNZ.
Parnes, PARNZ. I'm having trouble getting. Hold on. Go to another name and come back. I didn't connect into.
Okay, Vicky.
Wow. Vicky has she has two sides here. One side is very much receiving, but it's very small. And one side's very giving and it's huge. And so what happens with that is when you're always busy giving and taking care of everybody and stuff like that, it's really hard to get the information in sometimes. You have claircognizant, you have direct guides talking to you, you have intuition and stuff, but you got to pull back and receive the information a little bit more. Whatever you need to do to increase your receiving and balance out that giving and receiving a little, it's going to get a lot clearer coming in. And here comes the clairvoyance. Okay, so that's really there for you, but it's only when you balance out that you're getting, not just giving. I don't know how else to say that. That has to balance. Go back to the other name. What was the other name again?
Parnes, P-A-R-N-Z. We're sending a note to ask him to clarify if that's not his name. I know you go by name.
No, it's fine. I
Okay.
just wasn't connecting with anybody. Okay. Parnes needs to ground, number one, more than anything. Really hard to find because it's like I don't know what Parnes is doing, but there's lots of spiritual energy around this person, and it feels almost like they're trying to connect with something up here, and they almost kind of lose themselves at times trying to do that. So yes, you can get information. It absolutely works. Yes, you can channel, and you have a little bit of clairvoyance. You've got great intuition. You're very smart, but you keep kind of losing yourself. It's like either you're physical or you're spiritual and not understanding both at the same time. So it's almost like, do you remember that movie Back to the Future when Michael J. Fox's picture kept fading out? It's kind of like you keep fading out and coming back in again. So we need to get you in if you're having a physical experience, get in your physical body and stick your feet down on the ground and take a deep breath and feel your borders. And now open up for the information to come in. It'll come in, don't worry. You're floating you keep floating off to maybe you're an astral traveler. Yeah, you do. You astral travel in your dreams. So you must wake up very tired because when you sleep at night, you're out getting information in the Akashic records or guides or wherever you go. But you gotta get back in your body a little bit more in the daytime or you'll be very, very fatigued. And then the information comes right in. It's not a problem. So clear seeing, clear cognizance, nice intuition. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jay is next.
J-A-Y?
J-A-Y, correct.
A little bit of seeing, very visual, forehead eyes, third eye, clairvoyance, but he's just such a thinker. Really, it's like a claircognizance, but it's almost kind of like there's an opening that happens. So I've seen where the chakras do this for these chakras. They're not necessarily like the others in our body that go this way. And it's like there's an attunement going on with the energy centers here and the Christ consciousness up there and the crown. And he kind of attunes them all together to gather information and brings them in through the energy centers. That's pretty cool. So I can't tell once they get in how it's a processing thing for him. He's processed it in his mind as claircognizance and his vision is clairvoyance, his feeling. I mean, it's more processing than I have a gift. He has a really unique ability to bring in psychic information like into an energy center and then then he makes sense of it. I don't know what that's called. That's a new gift for me, but cool. Yeah.
Okay, the next person is Natalie.
Okay, so first of all, Natalie, let's get your boundaries in place, okay? Okay, because you lose your boundaries sometimes with the people around you. I think it might be because you're very kind and giving and open, but it's kind of like it's almost like you keep giving away your energy. So when I look at you, I just keep seeing these drains of energy going to other people. I love how you give, but you keep giving it all away. So imagine that you have a shell around you, like an eggshell, okay, and reinforce it and put some imagination, mirrors facing out, and stop giving it all away. Keep a little bit for yourself. You know that thing about the oxygen mask, first you, then the child on the airplane? You keep giving away the oxygen mask. So let's get a little in you first. You have a wonderful intuition and you're very kind, and you have a mission statement of helping others, and it's beautiful. But everybody above you who helps you wants you to help you too. And they talk to you. So you've got guides, deceased loved ones, you've got angels, you've got a whole tribe up here. And you're supposed to talk to them more. Okay, so be more specific. Hey, this is what I want. Oh no, you do it for other people. No, you have to say this is what I want, not just help that person, help that person. They want to help you. And it's not that you need help. It's, I call on Ganesh to clear the traffic when I drive. What the heck? And I never have traffic problems. I call on Mother Mary for everything in the whole entire world. They're there to help us. So just say, hey, people, hey, helpers, whoever wants to help me today, let's make it a really fun day. Let's have, something good happen. I don't know if I answered the question though. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, let's take a break, and from rapid fire, let's ask a couple of questions. So the first one is from Amy, it's spelled AMI.
Okay.
And the question is, do I have a gift of any sort? I tend to know things and not know why. I follow white Wicca, but I feel there's something more.
Well, something organized feels really nice for you, like Wicca. It feels like there's rules to things and kind of a pathway to follow when you do that. But at some point, a lot of people split off from that because they're kind of like creating their own rules, and that's going to happen for you. I would use some kind of tool a little bit right now to help gather information. Pendulums are always a good thing to use. Cards, runes would be good for you. Whatever you're thinking of, sometimes it's fun to use a tool. As for having gifts, yeah, you have gifts. Again, I see a connection to the divine. That's what I call all this good stuff up here. So there's an idea of communicating with spirits. There's also a shamanistic feeling of connecting to earth going on around you. I was surprised she said Wicca and not shaman, because it felt like energetically you're a shaman, or you've been a shaman if you believe in past lives. I'm sorry, what was the first part of her question? I got busy looking at her shamanism. Sorry. I can't hear you.
Person says, do I have a gift of any sort? I tend to know things and not know why. So that was probably...
Yeah, she has claircognizance. That's what claircognizance is. And when you question it a lot, it gets tricky. Just go, okay, show me more. Or how about, let's say that it said to you, I don't know, a friend of yours was going to be a jerk to you next week or something. So you're a little precognitive on it. Then ask for a little bit of support on that. Make a statement and see if you clinch intuitively. Close your eyes and see what the pictures look like with that. But you're a shaman, or you're supposed to be a shaman, or have something to do with shaman stuff, and connect to the divine and the earth at the same time, and kind of the energy flows through, and that's you should look into that seriously. Yeah.
Okay, the next person is Amelia. I can be skeptical and open and closed.
I'm sorry, spell the name first.
Amelia.
Okay, go ahead. What was the question?
I can be skeptical, open and closed. Is there a gift there? Feels like I get in my own way.
No, you're smart. Everybody should be skeptical. I have no problem. I'm like the most skeptical person out there. If anybody gives me a read, I'm like, you're right. I'm not so sure about that one. I don't agree. I think because you're a creator, when we create our own, or co-create, if you want to use that word, when we're creating our own world and our own destiny and stuff like that, it's okay to be a little skeptical and say, I don't know if I want to let that in or not let that in. I don't think you're getting in your own way. I think you're being too hard on yourself. I think you're like, what, prove it 100%, guaranteed no matter what, and then I'll pay attention to it. That's okay. That's a challenge, but it's okay. So you'll get proof 100% guaranteed no matter what, because that's what you require. I don't think it's great to be floating in the wind and go along with everything that comes in front of us. So I think there's nothing wrong with that. Do you have gifts? Yeah, you got clear knowing, and you've got a really great intuitive sense about you. And I keep seeing books. I don't know if that means you're involved in books and writing, or you're reading something that's speaking to you. If I might recommend something for you that I think you'd have fun with, and I don't get anything from any of this stuff. I'm not connected to these people. There's a guy named Radley Valentine that has a card deck called Angel Answers, or Ask Your Question, or something like that. You should play with something like that sometime, because it would kind of blow your mind, because it would be very accurate for you. So yeah.
Okay, next one is Aubrey, Aubrey. When will I see a positive shift in results as I shift my consciousness further?
You already have. You've already seen positive shifts in results because you've changed your life dramatically in the last couple of years. So you're already seeing them, but you're looking for this golden ticket or pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. And the problem is you're looking for it, and it's always for you out there. So this, I'm going to go off the gift thing for a second and get into law of attraction. So if we're saying it's going to come, it's going to come, it's going to come, I know it's going to come, it stays there as it's going to come to me, but it never actually arrives. So you have to notice and have gratitude and pay attention. What we look at gets bigger, right? To exactly what's going on right now around you that's good, and it floods in. It's already started, and it's continuing. There's no time frame on that. I would give you I'm happy to give a timeline. There's no time frame on that. It's just do it now. Do it now. Yeah.
Okay. Next question is from Lori. Am I holding my fifth dimensional essence, and how will I use that as a healer?
Spell Lori's first name, please.
Lori.
Are you holding it? Yes. Sometimes there's not a disconnect, I'd say, but there's almost it's kind of like turning up and down a little bit. So sometimes it feels a lot stronger, and sometimes it doesn't. You use it in every aspect of healing, every aspect of every healing thing you do, because it's okay. So entrainment, the concept of entrainment, entrainment, is if you put two things together, they resonate with each other. So if this one is resonating at 1,000 megahertz and this one is resonating at 200 megahertz, they can come down and meet in the middle. This one can come up, or this one can come down. So when you're tapped in and tuned into your fifth dimensional stuff, you're raising the vibrational level of whoever you're working on, and your healings are more effective, and they entrain towards your frequency. So you're using it already, and you'll continue to use it. And it's good. It's great.
Okay, one more question before we get back to rapid fire. Her name is Tina. What should I focus more on, like on her gifts, and how do I develop my gift?
Okay. We talked a little bit earlier about clairvoyance and how to develop the pictures a little bit more. I actually would like you to look at channeling, Tina, getting messages from deceased loved ones and guides. I don't know why there's a small fear around that. Maybe you're afraid that just whatever words you need to use to make sure it's coming from a good source, go ahead and use those words. But there's a little bit of uncomfortableness or fear around that, because it's not, they're going to take me over and I'm going to talk for the next 45 minutes in that voice. It's more like a constant conversation going on, and it lets everything develop quickly. I would focus on that. I'd focus on a little on how do you do that? You could use a pendulum and ask for answers from them. You can ask for them to guide you with cards if you want to do with tools. You can ask for them to guide you with runes. You can, some people used to use Ouija boards a long time ago, and I think that's a little weird. Sorry, I just don't think that works so well when you're trying to get in touch with a guide. You can talk to them in your head and pay attention to the pronouns that come back. When they're saying you this and you that, you can just open your mouth and channel, which is how I first did it. I was trying to do it in my head, and I found that if I just opened my mouth, the words would come out, and then I'd almost hear them after I said them. And I could do it with myself as well. I want to say one more thing. When people are talking about their gifts and doing readings and things like that, one tricky thing is trying to read what's going on in your own life. And there's a big belief out there that you can't read yourself, but I think that you can. I want you to imagine let's say that your name is Anna. I want you to imagine that there's an Anna way over there in that field. Now read that person. That person over there. That's how you read yourself. You can do the cards and stuff like that, but almost step out of your identity and read what's going on with that person who is your identity over there. Okay, rapid fire. I'll go faster. Rapid fire, I keep slowing down because they're just interesting. Interesting thing.
Okay, so Brittany.
Intuition. Very strong intuition. And sometimes there's almost a channel thing going on where words are coming out of her mouth and she doesn't know where they came from. She's got it all. She's got claircognizance and clairvoyance and all that. But intuition is super strong, and the words coming out of her mouth, sometimes it's just funny. It's delightful. Yeah.
Erin.
Spell Erin.
Erin.
Erin is one big love ball. I can't get to Erin's gifts very well because it's just this radiation of love, love, love everywhere. Hold on, I got to get in there. Well, she's a broadcaster. I broadcast love. Oh, you have a spiritual mission on this earth at this time. You're supposed to raise the vibration and broadcast the love and heal the sick. And I don't know what you took on, girl. I'm going to help people. I'm going to heal things. I'm going to make everything better for everybody else, kind of a thing. So you've got them all, and they all come in at different times, or different people you're interacting with, different things happen. So you might be a little bit clairvoyant with this, a little bit clairaudient with that, but you're just one big ball of love, which is awesome. Send some my way. We love that. Yeah.
Leighann, Leigh-ANN.
Intuitive, clear knowing. And what's funny about the clear knowing is she doesn't realize that it's a psychic gift. She thinks that it's just she's encountered this before. She knows it because of life circumstances, but it's a psychic gift. There's a sweetness here. There's a really kindness. There's a gentle kindness and a real care and compassion for other people and for those who are less fortunate. That's really, really beautiful. And I don't know if that's considered an ability or a gift, but it sure is cool to see. I'm sorry. So a little clairvoyance, intuition, and yeah, sorry. Well, I mean, you look at somebody, you're like, neato, that's really awesome. I like that so much. It's really neat to see, on a personal note, looking at people fast like this, it's really neat to see all these really great people out there in the world, doing their thing. But intuitive for Leighann, absolutely very intuitive, a little bit of empath, but she doesn't let it get her too crazy or sick or anything. Or it's not too overwhelming. Feels emotions very strongly and kind, man. Clairvoyant, claircognizant, and kind. Very kind.
Okay, Kayla.
Kayla is a bright, energetic sprite. Kayla is got all kinds of stuff going on. If you can slow down just slightly and focus, even more information will come in. But you're revving so high with all the possibilities of things that it's kind of like you're getting the first part of the sentence and not the second sometime. And the pictures are coming. And so you're clairvoyant and you've got the claircognizance coming in, and the music, you'll be drawn towards music that's playing or start singing things out loud. You're a really happy spirit. You're very connected to the divine, and you're a super awesome high energy. You're like a, wow, skippy happy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jennifer V.
Okay. So let's get rid of the concept of struggle here, Jennifer V, because there has been too much struggle here. Let's just take that struggle and throw it behind you and not deal with it anymore. Buy yourself a t-shirt. You're done. Stick a fork in it. I've had enough struggle in my life. Things don't have to be so hard. You've been done with it for some time, but it's like the remnant of it is sticking around. The clairvoyance is coming in with some imagery. There's some clairaudience coming in, but it's like you've been working uphill for so long, you just feel tired. And this joyous light stuff is coming in towards you. You're connected to 1, 2, good Lord, 3, a very feminine deceased loved one who's right there with you, 2 guides. Gosh, there's so much more up there. But the most important thing for you to know is not about this. It's about the struggle is behind you. It's over. Put your focus on, just notice the little good things, and they just start blooming bigger and bigger. Everything's so much easier than you realize. It's going to be so much easier now. The information, if you say, oh, okay, and think of it easy. How do I do it the easiest way? I'm a little bit clairvoyant. Now the information's flooding in. I'm a little bit clairaudient, which you are, a little bit claircognizant, which you are. This for you really right now, where you are with spring equinox in the past month and the past 18 months, is struggles behind me. That's really what's going on with you. Yeah, it's over. You're good, you're good, you're good, you're good. Yeah. Sorry, go.
Next one, Leora, Liora.
Claircognizant, clairvoyant. clairvoyant. You need to spend time in nature. You need to pick up the frequencies of nature. You're all about frequencies and vibrational frequencies, and balancing things out to raise your own. I'm not telling you because I want you to, it's just coming in that way. So something about you need to get in nature to balance things out a little bit more, and these things expand more and more for you, but you're already very, very connected. You have good imagery, and you have good thoughts, and you have a nice intuition, really nice. Yeah.
Elizabeth.
There's so many Elizabeths. I have too many Elizabeths. Can you give me a first initial of the last name?
We'll have to come back to her. How about Arthi? A-R-T-H-I.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This, I don't know why I'm saying what I'm saying. A bringer of peace? Let me figure out what this means. A bringer of peace. So you have a connection to guides, where as if there's some mission statement around you or some life path thing around you, that you're a peacemaker, a resolver of conflict. So different psychic abilities come in at different times with that. Sometimes it's you clearly see a picture, and sometimes it's you get a thought in your head. But I think, and you're certainly intuitive, but I think I would go with claircognizance primarily with you as a primary gift. Sometimes one is stronger than others, because you just have a way of kind of looking at a situation. And I would think Tessie, me, would say, okay, it's A or B. And you would say, actually, there's C, D, and E. Like you can see a larger picture and say D is the right path. So I don't know why I keep wanting to say these words. You're a bringer of peace. I don't really know what that means. And it's probably tied into some kind of angel that's called the bringer of peace as well, that you're connected with, but I'm not sure who that is. No, sorry, don't know.
Okay, so Elizabeth is Elizabeth P, as in Paul.
Thank you. Yeah, there were 4 Elizabeths showing up. I don't know why. I'm sorry, what was your question?
Rapid fire. What's her gift?
No, we're going to take a minute with Elizabeth P. Elizabeth, here we go. It's getting exciting. You're like discovering that you have these gifts and abilities that you didn't think you had. And law of attraction sometimes gets a little confusing with you because it's like, well, I don't know if that's all true or not true, but it is kind of true. And what you focus on is getting bigger. And so you're in this time of kind of an information overload with stuff coming in. You're a feeler, you are an empath. Don't worry, you won't get overwhelmed with it. You're clairsentient with feeling things physically in the body. You are somewhat clairvoyant if it's like songs or poetry sometimes comes through like a line or a phrase or something from a movie, like you'll just hear it in your head. You got them all. You've got a little clairvoyance going on too, but there's something going on where like it's a bloom going on in terms of spirituality and psychic ability and what the world is and where I fit in it. And it's awesome. Sorry, can't do that fast.
Not a problem. Let's take one question, then we'll finish up with the rapid fire. So the next question is from Zoe. How do I amp up my gifts and get better timelines?
She doesn't need to amp up her gifts at all. She's clairvoyant, she's claircognizant, she's connected to guides. She's awesome. She doesn't need to ramp up her gifts. Her gifts are fine. The problem with the timelines is there's a fear that I could be wrong, or a fear that what if it doesn't happen in that time? It's putting a limit on something that's limitless. The information from the divine is limitless. And when we put a limit on it by trying to put it in a timeline, it feels like, what if I'm wrong? What if it doesn't? Those kind of things. So you can do timelines. Again, all you do is, but can you just say, I don't know and I don't care a little bit? I don't know, I don't care. And then it'll be much clearer. It feels like there's a personal feeling of, what if I get it wrong? Or what if it's not exactly when I say it is, that's interacting or interfering with the right stuff coming in. Here's the other thing. So I once had somebody who was calling me, I'm going to call her Tina. And Tina would say, what's going to happen this weekend? And I'd say, oh, okay, well, you're going out with your boyfriend on Saturday and you're going out with another couple and there's 2 other people joining you and you like her, but he's drunk and he's an ass and you're going to have a horrible time. He causes a big crunch. She says, well, then I'm not going. And I said, okay, hold on. Okay. So on Saturday, you're doing da 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 da. She goes, okay, let's go for next week. Okay, this is going to happen. And she'd say, well, no, I'm going to change that. I'm not doing it. And I would say things and then she would alter it. And we'd say, okay, let's look again since you're going to do it differently. And that's what happens sometimes with timelines. That's what's fun about readings is you can kind of prepare yourself for what's coming up next and make some choices in advance. But that's what happens with timelines is oftentimes if you give someone a timeline, they stop doing the things they're supposed to do to have that happen because it's magically going to happen on April 1st. Or they interfere with it a lot, So I'm not crazy about timelines. I give them and I stand by them, in 11 days and in 3 days, and I do timelines, but I get a little crazy on timelines only because oftentimes if somebody calls me back and says it didn't happen, I'll tell them why it didn't happen. Well, yeah, because you decided to sit back and wait for him to call you and you weren't going to respond no matter what. And because you had this timeline and you knew this was going to happen and you blew the whole thing up. So give a text now, and now it's going to take 4 days and, and then react and, be who you were before, stop being different. So that's my answer for timelines. She doesn't need to improve her gifts. Her gifts are great. She's got it. She's very strong. Okay.
The rest are pretty much the rapid fire. So let's get back to that. The next person is Cherie, Cheree.
What a beautiful energy Cherie has. Yeah, Cherie, can we get, again, you're one of those people who can we take care of you instead of taking care of everybody else a little bit? You think you do, but you know what? Not so much. You could do a little bit better with that. You deserve love and good and happiness and all those kind of things. And if you kind of put yourself last in those categories. I'm not talking about get my nails done, or wear something nice. I'm talking about like the big categories, like love and respect and deservingness, and make sure the voice in your head is saying beautiful things to you, I deserve all good things. Don't let it say anything bad anymore. Clairvoyant, claircognizant, intuitive, a broadcaster of energy, a big giver. Yeah. Big giving. Really awesome giving. Yeah.
Catherine, Kathryn.
Well, I have a sister named Catherine, so I love all Catherines. Hold on. You have the coolest looking chakras. I'm losing my words. You have the coolest looking chakras. I don't know if you work on chakras or you've had them worked on and balanced, but they're like really sparkly. So energetically, you're all about energy and energetically, like you're more about physics and energy than about psychic phenomenon kind of a thing. And you're really balanced in all the way up. It's like you're really healthy energetically, which means you've got it everywhere. So we've got the third eye is really, really nice. I keep thinking like there's been work done here, like she's worked on this, or someone's worked on this in some way. The third eye is really nice to kind of be able to see what's going on. And that's clairvoyance, but it's also kind of psychic, seeing what's going to happen kind of a thing. And then the clairaudience and the on and on. And she's got it all, intuitive, everything. Yeah.
Elmarie, Elmarie.
Okay, so let's work on happiness with Elmarie. With noticing happiness, feeling the happiness, and owning and holding on to the happiness a little bit, because that you're supposed to be in a joyful state, and it's hard for you sometimes to get there, and it feels like you need to get back to the joyful state. And when you get into that joyful state, you are awesome in terms of psychic abilities, but you need to be joyful. Most people need to be kind of disconnected or really calm. You need to feel more joyful, and then information comes flooding in, like when you're not paying attention as well. It comes in really well for you. Imagery, thoughts in your head, songs in your head. So mostly in the head. There's some empathic stuff where you should do that thing I talked about closing it down a little bit. Visualize closing it down the size of a drinking straw, because sometimes you take in a little too much energy, and I think that's knocking your happiness and joy out of the way a little bit.
Yeah, so I'd just like to comment on that. So if she missed the beginning, then she can replay the video, and it's towards the beginning of the video, so she can get that information how to do that. Jessica B.
You ever see that show, Quantum Leap? Long time ago, there was this guy goes through the machine or whatever, and there was a thing with like the man with the arms out and the legs down, and there was white energy going all around it. Michelangelo did that drawing of man with the arms and legs out. She's got something about that about her. It's something energetic. It's like a funny sign. I'm not sure what that means, but go ahead and look at the picture that Michelangelo drew of, it's a drawing, it's a sketch with the form of the man with the arms and the legs out. There's something about that that's a sign or a signal for you that I don't really know what that means. You have guides, they're trying to give you messages. They're using your clairvoyance, which you have, your clairaudience, which you have, and your claircognizance, which you have, but you don't realize you have because you think it's you in your head, but it's not. It's the guides talking to you, and they use the pronoun you when they talk to you. But there's symbology coming up around you. So maybe sacred geometry or Reiki might be something that would be really, really cool for you to explore a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Tracy, TRCI.
TRAC?
TRACR. TRACI. Yes, I can speak.
Beautiful energy here. Oh man, you get knocked down and get back up again. You've got you have to work hard sometimes to maintain your energy because of the people around you. You've got a couple of little, what do we want to call them? Little energy vampires around you. I don't mean to mean they're vampires, but they kind of suck a little bit at your energy. So, but you've got this really beautiful energy, a lot of green in you, which is very heart-based. So you're a lover. You're just, love and be loved is a big mission for you. Intuition is great. Clairvoyance is very nice. I would go mostly with feeling type stuff for you. So intuition, some clairvoyance, a little bit of empath, a little bit of clairsentience. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, Jessica L. Jessica Lynn, actually.
Well, Jessica does not take any nonsense, and I love that. She is like, if I'm going to get information through my psychic senses, it better be completely accurate and 100% bona fide and, like reinforced kind of a thing. And it is, because she has that parameter. And I love that. I think that's fantastic. A lot of gentleness, a lot of really gentle energy here as well. I don't mean to make you sound anything but loving and kind and gentle, because you really are. There's a lot of feeling stuff around you. Watch out with the empathic stuff, that it doesn't drain you. You kind of give your heart to people around you and give your spirit to people around you a lot. So kind of pull it back in, take care of you first. And you're an empath. You're an intuitive empath. You're really an empath. Yes. You probably need to avoid really chaotic stuff because it might make you feel yucky. So you're an empath. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Aubrey is next. AURBREY.
Didn't I already do Aubrey? I already did Aubrey.
Okay. Next is Christina.
I want positive changes or something like that. When is a positive coming? If it's a different Aubrey, I need a last name.
Christina.
Any idea of an initial or anything like that with that one? I've already done a Christina. I just want to make sure I'm on the right one. Thank you. Thank you, Christina Z. Really? Yeah. So Christina is very, very evolved, has gone through some very difficult times, but's got her head back on. She's doing well. She's doing well. She is a real feeler. Everything's about feeling. She gets a little bit of imagery. She hears a little things now and then. She knows a little bit, but she's a feeler. She can like put her hand down and feel what's going on in a room, kind of a thing. So she's sorry, I can't get the word, clairsentient, physical. She's empath, which is, clear empathy, emotional. She feels it all, man. Yeah, she's been through a lot. Yeah, she's doing well. Yeah. Go on.
Christy. Oh, sorry. Are you done? I'm sorry. It's next.
K-
K-R-K-R-I-S-T-Y.
So there's a whole lot of light here on Christy around the head, which can mean a couple of things. I'm not sure what it means yet. Spiritual development, developing the third eye, developing the crown chakra and the connection to the divine. And then usually that goes into channeling. And channeling doesn't mean some spirit takes me over. It's just talking to like angels and God and deceased loved ones, you know, and those kind of things. There's a lot of energy right there. So I think that's something that's coming. I mean, there's probably been some other gifts there, but that's so distracting seeing that with Christy that I would be focusing on kind of saying, okay, what do you want to show me? What do I need to know? I'm going to sit here for a few minutes. And you know what? I'm going to now not pay attention to it. You don't have to sit and focus. It's almost sometimes when you focus, it's harder. Focus for a few minutes, relax. Something comes in, great. If it doesn't, go about your business. It'll keep coming. And it's when you're distracted. Like for me, I'm driving down the road and stuff just comes in. Or white noise in the background, or, you know, falling asleep when you're in theta brainwaves. It just comes flooding in. But Christy has something going on here with development and clearing channels of communication.
Okay, James H.
Okay. Visual headache. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say headache. Kids headaches. Sorry about that, James. I try to keep everything really confidential. Forehead and eyes. Clear seeing, clear knowing, clear thinking, forehead and eyes. Watch the headaches. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, he gets headaches.
Richard.
Well, he's kind. He's so kind. So he has, he's got forehead and eyes as well. So he's a little bit of clairvoyance, a little bit of clairaudience, very much claircognizance, but he's also got a divine feminine side. Many men do. We all have both of them in us. So he's got some very nice intuition, and he's got nice feeling. Primarily, I wouldn't call him an empath. He's kind of a spiritual seeker right now, gathering information and trying to figure out what the different things mean. But primarily, I'd call him a claircognizant, clear knowing. Yeah. Sorry, I keep looking away, but I'm clairvoyantly looking at things. So I want to answer a question you didn't ask me. How do I get information? Okay. This might explain why I'm never looking at the camera. So for me, it all floods in at once. So I'm seeing pictures and I'm hearing things in my head and I'm feeling things and I'm sensing things. And so it's kind of all coming at once. And that's why I keep looking around the whole time, because I'm kind of trying to track all this stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have one more, and then we'll end it for tonight, because I'm sure you're getting kind of exhausted. Her name is Kim.
Kim's lovely. Does Kim have a question?
No, just rapid fire.
Kim has, Kim's lovely energy. Kim has 1, 2, 3, 12. Kim has 12 guides.
1, 2, 3, 12.
Like, wait, there's, okay. I started counting and went, oh, there's 12 of them there. So that might get a little busy sometimes, having 12, the one spokesperson, so that's nice. So she must have been calling in angels or calling in guides for different things in her life, which is great to do. Absolutely, everybody should do that. Come, the angel of plumbing, come help me with my plumbing problem. The angel of homework, come help me with my homework. You know, whatever it is. But she's got 12 guides, which is probably the council of 12. So she's got a divine spiritual mission here on, I mean, not to make fun, but she's got a divine spiritual mission here on this earth. Let me see if I can get what it is. Hold on. Something about love, but I can't get what it is. I can't get what it is. I don't think it's to experience every form of love. Could be, that could be tricky, because then you can have some bad stuff happen with that. as you get through it. But it's something about love, and I think it's about showing other people the forms of love, showing other people that that's what it's all about, that it's a creative energy, something like that. But she's got a spiritual mission, and it's about helping not less fortunate, like little child or little animal, people who need their eyes opened. So she's got it all going on. She's got a little bit of clairvoyance, a lot of feeling. She's an empath. She's got intuition, a little bit of claircognizance, but primarily these guides communicate through every sense. So, and dreams, a lot of dreams with her. She must meditate because there's a whole lot of astral travel and dreams and Akashic records, and there's a whole lot of divine stuff. Anybody who is like really connected to divine, you're going to find Akashic records and astral traveling, and it's like they also live in another world sometimes.
So great. So I'm going to wrap up with a final question, which is, we didn't really cover this when we were talking earlier today. And the question is, pets. Are pets psychic? Are pets intuitive? So, can...
Give an example? Some are smart.
So Queenie knows when I'm feeling sad to come closer to me. Is it just by coincidence? Are they feeling the energy? Is it psychic? Is it...
I don't know if we use the term psychic with pets, but I think we can. It's animals. So when I'm down on the beach, they're little ghost crabs, and they play in the sand, and the water comes and goes, and all of a sudden the ghost crabs will go in the water, and then the wave starts to come in and then comes up and goes over where their little holes were. So they feel the energy of that wave way before it happens, and they feel the energy of the waves that aren't going to go over their little homes as well. So animals have a way of tuning into energy that's very different. They're open to it, and we shut down to it in this busy world. But Queenie the dog is very, very tied into you and can feel, there's a lot of reports of animals focusing on an area in the body on their owner over and over again, and it turns out that area of the body is an area that had a tumor or was sick or needed help in some way. And so Queenie has that ability to focus on, if the energy is off on you, to focus on that area and almost send energy to that area. So there's a healing ability that she has. And then psychically, I think you're really attuned to each other, so she can read whatever's going on from tone of voice, from the smell of you that you don't even realize when you're in different emotions, different, we exude different chemicals, from the energy, all those kind of things. Are pets psychic? Yeah, I think pets are absolutely, in that all psychic means is taking in information from other sources. That's all that really means. So yes, of course.
Awesome. So thank you, Psychic Tessie, for coming on tonight and we spent a lot of time together. And thank you everyone for joining us, and hope you had fun. Got your question answered, got a little insight on your abilities. Psychic Tessie will be on after.
Yeah.
On tonight for a little while. So if you want some more clarity or want some more detailed information, feel free to call her or any of the psychics that we have online tonight that you really resonate with, and that's really, I think, how you should pick them. Thank you so much again. Thank you, everyone, and sign up to our Facebook page so you can get alerted when we go live again. Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.